Hello everyone, welcome back to students of class 8. Today we are going to start with chapter number 4 and the name of the chapter is IQ Unbelievable from your English LIT. I hope and believe everybody is ready with their books, so we are going with the text. Just before, I would like to summarize it in brief. The chapter is all about a student who was a average student, not very good and not very poor in studies, but what happens, suddenly she gives a test, and in that test she somehow manages to score highest marks, and everybody starts believing her to be the genius of the class. Understood? And then she was in class 8 or 9 maybe, and she was forcibly given the science stream. Okay, science mein chale jao, you are very interesting, you are very intelligent. Okay, so but the girl was not, she was not considering herself intelligent, but the entire school and all the family members, everybody was thinking her a genius because she brought highest marks in the test. Okay, so let's start. I have just discovered the weirdest thing. Believe it or not, I am a genius. So the author is saying that I have discovered a weirdest. Weirdest means a strange thing. That believe it or not, mano ya na mano, that I am a genius. Weird, isn't it? Understood? Weird means strange, isn't it? I mean, it should be something that you know for the moment you are born. Understood? If you are a genius, you know from the beginning, since we are born, that you are a genius. But suddenly you become a genius, that is a very strange thing for you. Okay. What kind of genius waits till they are 14 years old to make this startling discovery? So anyway, now I am a certified genius. Everybody seems to be treating me differently. So now he is saying that 14 years took me to get this tag that I am a genius, and now I am a genius and everybody is saying me genius. Okay, so everybody is now treating me differently. Alag treat kar rahe hain. It happened like this. Now the poet is author is saying the story. It happened like this. There was a test conducted in school, basically to find out who the brain heads were that needed to be put into the science stream. So there was a test which was conducted, understood, among the students, that who will be given science stream kisko milega in the higher classes. So us test mein conduct kiya gaya tha from the school, and now suddenly I am the genius. And somehow the author went and he sat for the test, and he's saying that he was considered as a genius from that test because she did very well in that test. So the counselors said, counselors means, psychologists or counselors, those who are there in the school, everybody thought that counselor means like teachers, those who study your mind. Clear? They gathered up my paper suddenly and called in the principal and the trustees and everybody who's anybody. They sent me a collective beam and sent for my parents right away and patted themselves on their backs for having made this wondrous discovery. Then patted my parents on their backs for having produced their wondrous discovery. Okay. Then she was called into the principal's room. Everybody was there, the trustees, the principal, understood, everybody was there. That girl was also there, and then everybody was beaming. Beaming means giving her a bright smile, understood? And then everybody patted the girl on her back. Bahut achhe, understood? The girl was said. And then she was asked to call her parents also. Then her parents were also called, and everybody congratulated their parents. Your child is so good, she did so well, understood? And the parents were also very happy, understood? Everybody was in the principal's room, and the girl was thinking, what else is happening? I don't understand what is happening, right? Mujhe genius bol rahe hain, I am not a genius, understood? So now what was I to do with my newfound geniosity? अब मैं अपना geniosity का क्या करूं? Understood? The girl is questioning herself. The trouble was, you see that most geniuses know what their special talents are. They hone right in and they become grandmasters at chess, doctors at 2, professors at 3, play the sitar, tabla and mridangam at the same time to the music of Beethoven, or become star batsmen who only hit boundaries every ball. Me, gosh, my genius, whatever it is, was so well hidden that discovering it was not going to be an easy task. So the girl is saying that if you are a genius, you know from the beginning that I am genius in this field, understood? Somebody might be doctors, understood? They are geniuses in that field. Somebody are professors, they are genius in that field. Somebody are strange musicians who could play many musicians at the same time, many musical instruments at the same time, like the mridangam, sitar and this and that, understood? And somebody are born batsmen, like hit boundaries after boundaries, understood? 6 after 6 hit marte. Everybody are there, but me, what is there in me? I am also a genius. The girl is not understanding anything by herself, understood? In the meantime, word got out. All of my friends got to know, and somehow they began to behave differently with me. Now what happened, the girl was given a tagline of genius and everybody started thinking that this girl is a genius. और सभी उसे अलग कर दिए, like अलग थलग in the class, not talking to her, don't talk to her, she is a genius, kind of a feeling, understood? It was like a contagious disease. Contagious means communicable disease, understood? एक से दूसरे को पता चला, दूसरे को तीसरे को, और सभी ने मुझे sideline कर दिया. That they were afraid of catching. Actually, it was pretty scary. Suddenly, I had become precious. Suddenly, everything I said carried more importance. Now, she started thinking that everything she said, it was believed that she is saying something very different. बहुत intelligent बात कर रहा है. Understood? So, everybody started thinking that way. Every word, it was awful. Suddenly, when I spoke, no one said shut up, and usually did. Not even my dad, not even during the news. Understood? So what happened now? Everybody is giving her so respect in the family also, among the friends also. Nobody is saying her shut up. Understood? Why? Because everybody is thinking that she is a genius. Not even her dad also says her shut up. Understood? Because everybody is thinking that this girl is a born genius. But genius को खुद ही नहीं पता था कि वो क्यों genius है. Strange. Okay. Meanwhile, the luckless genius was getting pushed into taking up science, no matter how bleak past records had been. Bleak means very poor. Understood? There seemed to be no light at the end of my tunnel. That means कोई hope ही नहीं था. End at the light of the tunnel, that means no hope. Understood? So she was forcibly given science. जाओ तुम science ले लो, तुम तो genius हो, जाओ ना, जाओ science ले लो. Understood? But the girl was saying, I am a genius. I don't believe that I am a genius. Clear? So she was not seeing her bright future only. Clear? And no one seemed to be taking my protestation seriously. She was protesting, I am not genius, but everybody was not believing at her. I also seemed to have fallen into two stools. The science types considered me a failure and they weren't wrong, and I'd be alienated by the ordinary mortals in the art stream. Understood? So science one knew that this girl is not a genius. ये कोई पढ़ने में अच्छी नहीं थी, हाल ही में अच्छी हुई है. So nobody in the science stream के बच्चे इससे बात नहीं करते थे. पता था इसका that she is not that intelligent like us. And art stream के बच्चे they were in their own world, वो उससे बात ही नहीं करते थे. तो this girl बीच की हो गई, ना इसकी दोस्त बनी साइंस की, ना आर्ट्स वालों की दोस्त बनी. So she was in the middle only. Understood? Nobody used to talk to her. I took to reading in a big way. What else I to do? If I watched TV, everyone would feel as if I was wasting my precious time. Understood? Or talent. On the other hand, if I read, people would at least leave me alone. So precious time, what she used to do was that if she used to watch TV, सभी उसके पीछे पड़ जाते थे. अरे तुम तो genius हो, तुम TV देख रहे हो. Don't watch the TV. Don't waste your precious time. Go and study. Understood? सभी पीछे पड़ गए थे उसके genius बोल के. But she did not know that what kind of genius she was. Understood? एक टेस्ट में तो अच्छा हो गया. क्या genius. Now, by the way, although I wasn't good at science in general, I was pretty passionate about biology. But I did not like much about science, but I liked one subject, that was biology. That is life science, which you say. My family never appreciated my experiments in the field of biology. My family used to never appreciate me in the field of biology, but now all of a sudden things changed dramatically. Instead of turning up their noses, they would sniff appreciatively at the stare, Google-eyed at my experiments. Now the family members, they did not think that she was a very born genius. Understood? But now, whenever कोई experiment वो करती थी, everybody looked at her as if she was doing her best. Understood? Google-eyed at her. Understood? Like intelligent कुछ कर रहा है तो उसे appreciate बहुत ज़्यादा करने लगे. Everybody started appreciating her as if she was a genius. Okay. Next paragraph. Similarly, things happened in school. School में भी वही चलता था. Understood? If I was doodling drawings in maths class instead of being shouted at, I was admired. Understood? Sometimes what happened when teacher is teaching, you draw in the back of the paper, no, in the copy. So and your teacher thinks that you are doing very nicely. Understood? You are studying, but you are drawing a picture, and the teacher is teaching. So वो ऐसा क्लास में करती थी, बैठ के ड्राइंग कर रही थी, ऐसे ऐसे कुछ करती है, क्लास में नहीं सुनती है, एंड टीचर दूर से देख के बोलती है दैट सी दैट जीनियस, शी इज स्टडिंग सो नाइसली. अंडरस्टूड? बिकॉज उसका दिमाग में सब लोग उसे जीनियस बना चुके, तो वो ड्राइंग भी करती थी. पीपल यूज्ड टू थिंक दैट शी इज स्टडिंग वेरी नाइसली. अंडरस्टूड? सो एवरीथिंग हैपेंड लाइक दैट ओनली. अंडरस्टूड? इफ शी वाज डूइंग एनीथिंग, टीचर यूज्ड टू नॉट शाउट एट हर बिकॉज शी वाज कंसिडर्ड अ जीनियस. ओके. Genius at work, said an invisible sign, and the whole world seemed to be able to read it except me. And everybody used to understand me genius, but I only did not understand that why I am a genius. Suddenly I had to have written something as astounding as E is equal to mc square. Nothing was good enough all of a sudden, and nothing was funny anymore. Nothing was fun either. Now everything started feeling so irritating, like she was getting very mad. Nothing was seeming funny. वो मजाक, वो खेल कूद, वो हंसी मजाक, everything vanish हो गया था. And she was like getting frustrated. क्यों genius, genius, genius always? I'm not a genius. I don't want to prove myself. Why is everybody forcing me as a genius? I want to live my life. Understood? So she was getting frustrated. Clear? So being me, I stopped doing my experiments. Now she stopped doing the experiments, everything. I buried myself in my books and I began to behave like a bigger duffer than ever before. Now वो जबरदस्ती गुस्से से पढ़ने लगी कि मैं genius हूँ, I have to study and I have to study. Understood? मन नहीं था, पढ़ना पड़ता था. Why? Because she was thought of as a genius, but she was not a genius. So she was thinking herself that she was becoming a bigger duffer. Clear? Pretty soon the admiring glances stopped, but in a way it was a relief. Who would ever have thought that my life could have changed so dramatically just because of one test? Gosh, an exam had never had such a devastating effect on me. So she is saying that, my God, I cannot just believe that एक exam ने मेरी जिंदगी को यूँ बदल दिया. Understood? Just one exam, I did a little well and I am thought of a genius. Understood? An exam has devastated my life. Exam सबका life खुला देता है और उसका life devastate हो गया, नहीं, like destroy हो गया. Clear? So she is not believing that exam has devastated my life. But no, don't worry. This is not a tragic tale of failure and disappointment. It was other people who were disappointed, not me, not even for a moment. Actually, it's good to be back as an ordinary teenager again. So now she is recalling her days. It was so good earlier. I used to go to school. Why I am a genius now? I don't want to be a genius. Clear? So she is calling her teenage days back. Even good to ride the wave of scoldings. डांट खाने में भी तब मजा आता था. Understood? आप सभी प्यार कर रहे हैं, I am not feeling good. तब डांट खाने में मजा आता था. Understood? But now I am not feeling good. Clear? So that time the wave of scoldings also felt so nice. Certainly good not to be precious anymore. और मुझे अभी कीमती ऐसा नहीं बनना. I don't want to be any precious now. Clear? I am still a genius. I know that. I know I am a genius, but I don't want to prove to anyone. Understood? It's still there, lurking latently. Lurking latently means waiting latently. Understood? It is there inside me. Somewhere, sometime I'll surface it. जब दिखाना होगा मैं दिखा दूंगा. I'll show it. I'll surface it out. And even if it doesn't, it's still me, just me. और अगर मैं दिखाऊं भी नहीं, मैं हूँ genius. मुझे पता है, but I don't want to show it to anyone. Understood? So this was a beautiful chapter. With this, we come to end of this chapter. In the next part, we're going to do with the question answers. Please go and sit with your copies right now. Thank you. Of the answers. So here are the questions, answers which are duly provided inside your description box in the link. You can go and write the PDF, download the PDF from there, and you can write as per your feasibility. So we are discussing the same answers out here as well. So the first one says that the fact the narrator was a genius was discovered by whom? Who discovered that he was a genius? By number B, that is the school's counselors. The test was conducted to, answer will be A, that is to decide who will to take up science. The third one, answer will be B, started avoiding her. The fourth one, the answer will be a bad record for science, because she was not deserving science and she was given science. Clear? Next, the narrator had a bad record for science, that I told you. Number 5, the narrator hated being called a genius. She was not like that, she was again and again called a genius. Clear? Next, number B. Okay, so here are the answers for B as well. So what will be the answer for B? The first one, the question is, okay, so there is a lines are given and you have to understand in and explain it on which context is the line spoken. So the first one, the answer will be the narrator was not sure about what her genius or talent is. She did not know. खुद ही genius और खुद को ही नहीं पता that in what field she is a genius. And unlike others whose talents are easily revealed by her, talent is hidden. Other geniuses, their talents are revealed, like she was talking about, no, musicians playing mridangam, and other like कोई batsman है, कोई doctors है, कोई lawyer है, कोई professor है, कोई musician है. They know their talents, but I do not know my talent. What kind of genius am I? Understood? So their geniuses, other geniuses are revealed, but my genius is hidden. My talent is hidden. Clear? Number 2, it speaks about there seemed to be no hope of the narrator was in her situation. उस जिस सिचुएशन में थी कोई होप ही नहीं था. That was a hopeless situation. Understood? Number 3. Yes. The students who took up arts were no longer as friendly with the author. So the students who took up arts, they did not talk to the narrator because they were not friendly with the narrator. Okay. The fourth one, yes, she was alienated. Okay. Because instead of mocking at her, the family now took her as a curious spectator. Spectator, curious means excited. Okay, very like ichuk. Okay, and spectators means like who sees anything, who witnesses anything. Number 5, the answer is out there. It's good to be an ordinary teenager again. So the narrator was relieved at no longer being idealized because she could now behave as wanted instead of living up to the expectation of people. She did not want to be a genius because she wanted to be a normal person. Clear? Okay. Next. Okay, what was scary and for whom was it scary? The counselor's proclamation that the narrator being a genius was scary for the narrator. Counselor ने जब उसे genius बोल दिया, she started becoming very much afraid. The narrator thought that it was scary because this revelation caused by everyone else to look up at her differently. Because everybody started looking at her differently. Clear? Next. Was the narrator interested in studying science? No, the narrator was not interested in studying science. Clear? Instead of biology. खाली biology पसंद था. This can be said because she does not seem pleased on being offered science. Understood? वो खुश नहीं थी. That's why she was not happy when she was given science. Clear? Okay. Next, the third one. What was the relief and quote from the text? Okay, the admiring glances stopped because the narrator stopped doing intellectual things. Genius वाला thing करना बंद कर दिया. Experiment started behaving like she was weak in studies. Understood? So this was the thing. Okay, copy it now. Okay, I hope that you have written the part which is already discussed. Now we are here with answer number 4 of part C. Nothing was funny either. What was nothing funny and for whom? According to the narrator, nothing was fun anymore because everybody started taking her seriously and all her casual actions were being treated with gravity. Gravity means seriously treat होने लगे और उसका कोई भी मजाक नहीं करता था कोई उसके साथ because she was considered as a genius. Now the next part. How would you think that the narrator being called a genius? We know it because the narrator started feeling burdened as she had to live up to the term. Moreover, the consequence of being called a genius was being streamed into science and the narrator did not enjoy this. She started being called a genius and she was shifted into science and she did not like science. At the end of the story, she also declares that the test which declared her genius had a devastating effect on her. And the last, she also tells that the test which gave her the tagline of genius, I don't like that test and that test has a devastating effect on me. So I hope you have went through this, understood it better, the chapter and the question answer as well, the short questions, everything, all the questions are being duly provided in the PDF. Kindly go right from there, write it neatly one by one, the short questions as well also, and there you have to write it with black pen, the short question and the answer with blue pen properly and freshly. I guess you have understood the question answers and all the parts. You will write it from the PDF. Until then, take care. Thank you very much.